Hello, good morning, and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. Well, my nose is clearing up, getting better. I knew it, especially with the rain helping clear out the pollen, so no rain really for a month. Uh, then we had one day of it, but the pollen builds up, getting into my nose. Okay, now had me sneezing, eyes watering yesterday. Never really felt bad though. People kept asking me, well, one lady in particular kept asking me at work, "How you feeling now?" I said, "Well, I didn't feel bad to start with. It was just blowing my nose like every 10 minutes, but that kind of, okay, anyway, enough of the medical report. Now, Old Overholt, Abram Overholt, 1810, the oldest current rye whiskey brand in the United States. Pennsylvania, the Keystone State. They got the Keystones. But actually, that distillery was bought by the Beam Company, and the production was moved to Kentucky. So if you go to the Old Overholt distillery now, it's an abandoned building and it's dangerous to go into. There is a video, or there was on YouTube, showing these 20-something-year-olds, two guys and a girl, I think, and they were going all through there taking videos, and it was just like full of like trees growing through it. I mean, it's like abandoned way out with weeds everywhere. They were in the office where it looked like still had paperwork sitting out and all. It was just like they walked away from the distillery. It's kind of like how Falstaff Brewery was in New Orleans. I think it was a photo essay somebody put on Google where he trespassed on the property. And he was in there, and they even had record books with different updates on the beer and all. It just abandoned in 1979. But anyway, enough of that. So it's made in Kentucky now for at least 20 years, 30 years probably. And it is still pretty popular. I see it at Walmart, $15.99 at Walmart. It was that price 3 years ago, still that price today. Happy to report 4 years ago was that price. All right. Alberta Premium, introduced in 1958. Alberta Distillers. Okay, so what do they have in common? They're both produced in North America. They're both rye whiskeys, which means they're at least 51% rye. The other grains can be anything. We don't know the percentage on the Old Overholt because they don't say. I'll go wipe this down. You can tell it's a Beam bottle. Same bottle design as the Beam's 8-star. So if you see Beam's 8-star, it's going to have the same bottle design. I think it's brown bottle also. Old Granddad, same bottle design. Old Crow, same bottle design. Okay. You can tell as soon as you see the bottle shape, you know that's a Beam product. Okay. Alberta Premium. It's got this looks like a decanter. It's fancy looking, right? Okay, so let's go through this real fast. Both from North America, both 80 proof, both rye whiskeys. Differences. This one is, we don't know the mash bill, but we know it's at least 51% rye, probably not even 52%. They're probably doing the minimum. That's why it's $15.99, $15.98 per bottle at Walmart. Okay. age 3 years, chill filtered. 100% rye. This is a blend of 100% rye whiskeys. There's no wheat whiskey, no corn whiskey, no malt whiskey, all rye, the youngest of which is 5 years old. So this is and yet you have to age state it with the youngest whiskey. So it's called a 5-year-old whiskey. It doesn't say that on the bottle. If you look at the bottle, you're going to say it's a no age statement. Understandable, it doesn't say it. I couldn't find it. But on the website, it says 5 years, so that's how we know. Kind of like Canadian Club. I don't think Canadian Club states the age on the bottle either, but it's 5 years. It says it on the website, and used to be 6 years, but that's used to be 100% rye grain. So a 5-year versus a 3-year, 80 proof, 80 proof. Alberta, Canada, Kentucky, USA. Don't know if it's chill filtered or not, so I can't remark on that for the Alberta Premium. I can for this one. I got the website links below. Sam Smalley says, "Good day, Ron. Good day to you." Okay, let's go. I may have to get up and shut the windows if the big storm comes, okay? Right now it's just light drizzle, but there's a big mass headed this way, which is going to interrupt my morning walk. Just hope it stops and then the sun will come out and it'll be dry by 10 o'clock. That way I can cut the grass because the yard drains quickly. And it's never flooded on this street. I'm on the highest elevation in the town and or close to it. And I told somebody, I said, this house floods, there won't be a town left. The town will be gone because other areas flood. They've had floods and we didn't even get water on the street. And they had water up to their roof, back away from the river. So it shows you the elevation difference around here. Right? After Hurricane Isaac, Hurricane Ida, 2 storms, one with low hurricane winds. Isaac was only 74, but it got stuck over here for 24 hours, stuck, was never moving, and it flooded. Ida moved through in about 6 hours, but it had very high winds, so it caused a lot of wind damage and flooding back there. But like I said, it had water. I could see the water almost to the roof back there, or at least halfway up. And here we didn't have water on the street. Well, you guys would cop some real bad weather where you are. Yeah, we cop some bad weather. I'm currently on a Mountain Culture New England IPA single hopped Eldorado, really nice. Huh. Or I try, well, you know me, people say, yeah, but you try Four Loko. Yeah, that's true. So if I say I'll try something, that's not really a remarkable statement. But I would try it. I give it a fair score. Anybody that thinks I don't try to get fair scores is living in a world of delusion. This thing gets confused on the focus. So that's the truth. If you get an idea in your mind that I'm not giving fair evaluations, then I'm sorry, but you're wrong. I don't play favorites with these products. I don't care who wins, okay? I don't own any liquor company. You know, I don't own a distillery. I don't own a winery. I don't own a brewery. I don't work for one, nor do I work for a distributor or have any relatives that work for any of these companies. I'll have to do a stout with you guys one time. That's a good idea. Okay, so am I taking sides for USA over Canada? No. Now, if it was a soccer match, okay, I'd probably pull for the United States. I mean, I would. If it was a football game, I would do that. You know, baseball. Well, baseball, if it's, you know, American League or National League, you know, I wouldn't care unless it's the teams I follow, which is the White Sox and the Cubs, which goes back to cable television in the 1980s. No other reason. I mean, in reality, I should be following the Houston Astros, right? Because they're the closest team by drive time, 5 hours, 6 hours. Usually you get traffic, but it could technically make it in 5. But the chances of that are so minimal. I am partial to Trogues offerings only because I live close to the brewery. Craft Beer Tastic says. Well, I'm partial to Trogues because they taste good. We don't get them in Louisiana. We got their Troganator once. It was like in a store, and I was like, oh, look. And it was really good. And I said, oh, I'm going to go buy some more Trogues products next time I go out looking for beer. And never saw it again. I don't know. It was like a test market here. I don't know what happened, but never saw it again. It was aggravating, to say the least. So the appearance. And I tried their that Elf Christmas beer, you know. Notice there's no difference in appearance. Maybe this one's a little darker, but it's so close. I won't have to close my eyes. One thing you'll notice, these don't have a whole lot of aroma. Even you can say, oh, your sinuses and all. But I mean, I remember when my nose wasn't bothering me, they didn't have a whole lot of aroma. You just get faint grain. Is that because rye whiskey doesn't have a lot of smell? I don't really know. Yeah, it looked like the one in your right hand was slightly darker. Yeah, it was. But so it's so minimal. Yeah. This one has a little bit of like a rye note, but neither one is something you would tell somebody, oh, smell these. They're really, gotta smell this. Now you might say, gotta taste it. So here we go with the taste. This is the part where we go with the taste. So I have over 4 hours. I was planning to start the yard. So yeah, like I say, if the rain stops, even if it's an hour before I want to cut, if it stops and the sun comes out, I could cut it. It'd be dry. Because like I said, drained. There's no pooling, not really anywhere around the yard. Not where I'm cutting. Okay, yeah, it tastes okay. It tastes good, but it's kind of bland. And I recall the Alberta Premium being kind of bland, so that's tipping me that could be it. But I'm still evaluating. Okay, now here I'm getting wood, oak barrel. Are they using fresh charred oak barrels? It says straight rye whiskey. Yeah, let me put that in the notes. Straight rye whiskey. And let's see what because I don't remember. And if I don't remember, I check. I don't presume. Straight rye whiskey, aged 3 years. Okay. Now let's go to Tax and Trade Bureau. ttb.gov. Okay, here we go. I wish I could do screen share on this. Okay, let's see. Class and type. Okay, here we have whiskey, rye whiskey. Whiskey produced at not exceeding 80% alcohol by volume from a fermented mash of not less than 51% rye and stored at not more than 62.5% alcohol by volume, 125 proof, in charred new oak containers. Now, notice they didn't give a minimum of how much alcohol. They don't have to, because the overarching requirement for any sort of whiskey is 80 proof. If it's not 80 proof, it ain't a whiskey. You say, but I bought it. Yeah, well, you bought it and you got it in your hand, but that's something else. It's probably distilled spirit specialty. That could be anything. That's why they have that class, so that you don't have to follow the rules. What I mean is they want to allow people to produce anything. But if you want to produce something specifically, you have to follow these specific rules. Now let's go down to straight rye whiskey, which is the same as rye, but with more strict requirements. It's rye whiskey stored in charred new oak containers for 2 years or more. Okay. Straight rye whiskey may include mixtures of 2 or more straight rye whiskeys, provided all of the whiskeys are produced in the same state. So could this be a blend of different straight rye whiskeys? Yes, but they all have to come from where? You got it, Kentucky. They have to be aged at least what? 2 years. Got it. But this is 3-year age, it says on the bottle, so that's no problem there. Has to be in charred new oak barrels. Okay, so there you go. I thought so, and I wanted to check. So I know that this is aged in new charred oak barrels. It's never been used. The barrels have never been used before in the history of the world. And they're charred. And they're oak. Do you have to use oak barrels? No, but it won't be rye. I mean, it won't be straight rye, excuse me. Okay. Okay, but this is straight rye, so therefore we know. Sam says, what's the whiskey scene like in your state? In Louisiana, it's full bore. And it's all bourbon mostly, you know, so people are bourbon crazy. Your regular whiskey drinkers, they're drinking Crown Royal. So your non-hobbyist, which is the majority. So most Louisiana beer whiskey drinkers are not hobbyists. They're just drinking, and maybe every day, and maybe too much. I don't know. It's a drinking state with a football problem. Okay, Louisiana is a drinking state with a football problem. But Crown Royal is the king, and now they got the handles of Crown Royal Peach. People buying that. So, oh yeah, that is it. But now the hobbyist, you know, the hobby drinkers, you say they got it. They're alcoholics. No, they're hobbyists. They would say, I'm not an alcoholic. I'm a hobbyist. Okay, but you know what I mean. They shop around and say, ooh, let me try this bourbon. And then when they get together at a party, they like to try to one up each other, you know. I'm drinking Old Fitzgerald 10-year age, and it was $79. And they're like, oh yeah, that's a nice little whiskey. I have this Pappy that I found. I had to talk to Gary Heimlin. He's the state representative. You know, they're like, and then they just go back and forth trying to one up each other. That's cool. But so that's a big thing. They always shopping for bourbon. I love low quality. Oh, Natty Daddy update, please. Daniel, I don't have a Natty Daddy update. I love how quality control is written right into the regulations for whiskey, says Craftertastic. It certainly is. Even is for beer, but the requirements for beer is so low that it gives you a lot of leeway to put out really horrible stuff. With whiskey, the regulation is so strict, and so ipso facto, the quality control is so strict that you can shop around and you're going to have a much harder time finding bad whiskey than finding good. Okay, I don't care what the price point is. So if you just randomly go into a liquor store and buy the first whiskey you see, you know, with no kind of discernment, you have like probably a 95% chance of finding something that's at least good, maybe B minus, but still good. The chance of finding something horrible is almost, it's like you're not going to do that. Beer, well, you're probably not going to find a bad one, but you got a better chance of it. You understand? They have some really, you say, well, I bought this Frio Light. Yeah, well, yeah, so I've been loving anything peated lately. Really enjoyed Ardbeg 10 last time I had it. Oh, yeah, I'm addicted to that. I mean, that's an expression. If I was addicted to it, I'd drink it every day, not be saving it on the shelf and waiting till I get back to Scotch every time. But on the other hand, every time I walk past that shelf, I'm looking at it and I'm like, hey, how you doing up there? And I wake up at night and I think about Ardbeg 10. I don't judge me. No, anyway, good morning, everyone, says BC's Beer Reviews. Oh, BC's Beer Reviews. I'll tell y'all one thing about BC. Regardless of if it's in a bottle or a can, he's going to probably review the beer. He will review it. Any other peated whiskeys you'd recommend? Yeah, there's a blend I like. It's Johnny Walker Double Black. Pretty strong peat. Even Johnny Walker Red Label is pretty peated. But that Finlagen I got at Trader Joe's is pretty peated, pretty smoky. It's a jewel, and I only paid a small amount for it. Aged 6 years. Okay, this one's kind of bland. Yep, even draft, and he will review draft. But of course, normally we review in bottles and cans because it's so easy to get. Oak, charred oak, charred oak, charred oak, charred oak. I don't know if I mentioned it, but I said oak, charred oak. Yeah. Otherwise, it's kind of dull, but it's okay. It's all right. It's all right. So I think that the old over. Yeah, well, I'm not gonna. Old. I think that old Overholt is the better product. I paid more for it. I paid $15.98 and I paid $14.99 for Alberta Premium. But don't even dream that that's the regular price for Alberta Premium, because I can assure you it is not. I got that on a discount. I didn't ask questions. I bought it and got the heck out of there. The normal price is $24.99. I'm talking about Louisiana. So $24.99 versus $15.99. So now, is it $9 better? Well, how's it $9 better? It ain't even as good, in my opinion. So sorry, Alberta Premium, you going 0-3. 0 wins, 3 losses. I can't help that. I don't create the products. I buy them and I review them and I taste challenge them. That's the way it works. And that's the way it's always going to work. Smoky whiskeys, smoky beers, smoky meat, smoked cheese. I love it all. Ha ha. So I do like it too. Okay, here comes the big rain, so we got to get off. Yep, that's the Alberta Premium. Sorry, folks. That's the way it's working out. I got it right 3 times and it's lost 3 times. Now, could that change? Of course, it could change. I got another old Overhaul variant coming in tomorrow. It's old Overhaul, but it's a different formula. Slightly different, but it is different. I've got, what you call that? Woodford Reserve Rye. I've got Sazerac Rye. I've got Jack Daniel's Tennessee Rye. I'll do that last. We'll go down to Tennessee Rye. Got Jim Beam Kentucky Rye. So yeah. But it's not looking too good. It could change, but it's not looking too good. I don't think Alberta Premium is going to make the playoffs. Good morning to you, Max Wolf from Russia. Peace to you. Peace to Russia. Peace to Ukraine. Okay. Certainly not a bad flavor, but on this has been the trend. I did the solo review and now 3 taste challenges. So we're at 4. It's the same result. And that's a pattern. You see, once you start getting these many results, and then it's a pattern. And what's the pattern? It's kind of bland. That's my perception. What do I always tell people? You have to call it as you see it. I tell my friend David that. We did a video the other day, and then when I shut off the camera, he's like, I wasn't really that. I should have given it a lower score. I said, oh, this has got to stop. I said, if you think it's a C, give it a C. Don't give it a B while we're recording because you think, well, it will cause less controversy or whatever. No, give it a C. So I was telling him, you got to call it as you see it. It's like he's putting pressure on himself. No one else is, I don't think. All right, yeah. So I prefer the little oaky, the charred oak. I do prefer that. Why is that? Got more flavor. Got more elaborate flavor. A rock beer, says Sam Smile. Oh yeah. But you know, if you ever drink a rock beer like the Oxlenkerle, they only smoky at the first few sips. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I smell it. It's so smoky, and you taste it. Oh, it's like smoked meat, and you go through all of that mental commotion. So that's the first 10% of the beer. But then as you drink the last 90%, it's really not that smoky. You know, it just tastes like regular beer. It's kind of like the banana bread beer or the double chocolate stout. The initial taste is banana. Oh, wow. Chocolate. Oh, golly. And then it just tastes like regular beer. I don't know why somebody would say something bad about Old Overholt, because you'll never hear me saying anything bad about it. Is it inexpensive? Yeah, I just told you it's $15.98. Would I recommend it? You better believe I'd recommend it. Would I drink it again? Certainly, without question. Would I buy it again? I'm going to buy it again because they changed the age statement on it just this year or late last year to a 4-year age because they had to let it age because they had come out in 2020 with the new red, I call it the red cap, age 3 years, but now it's 4 years, so they have to let it age. So somebody's asking my favorite canned beer. I can't think of any particular favorite specifically canned beer. So that's it. It's over. The winner, Old Overholt. I got half the bottle left, at least half. So it's going to be a lot of fun with this beauty, this legend, this Pennsylvania, now Kentucky legend. Don't hesitate. Buy it. Buy it. If you want to buy it. And if you don't want to buy it, don't buy it. All right. So coming back soon. Yeah, by the end of Roch, you're getting more of the usual malt characters in other words, bread, toffee, biscuit. Right. Ooh, I love that oxygen curler. Okay, well, let me go. I'm gonna try to go walking. I don't know. The rain is looking like it's gonna be problematic. I was gonna walk and say the rosary, but not just say it, pray it, but your mind gets distracted and whatnot. But anyway, then I'm going to try to do a reshoot of the KBS chocolate cherry. As a matter of fact, let me delete it. This is my camera. This is a $250 camera. At least $250. That'll last. The last one I had broke. It was new. It never worked. I mean, it worked, but it would always get screwed up. And they were telling me, well, we got a malfunction problem with it. I said, well, give me the credit and I'll get a new one. Oh, well, no. So Sony did me dirty. Okay.
KBS chocolate cherry, 11.6% alcohol. 45.
So that's going to disappear. Well, actually, I'm gonna put it on my alternative channel, Anti-War, just as a overflow video. Man, I was disappointed in that beer. That thing is expensive. It's talk about overpriced, very overpriced, and but it's I'm starting to get where I don't want to buy these variants, all these flavored variants. They almost never. I mean, sometimes they live up to it, like the Mackinac fudge, which was 100 out of 100, but most of the time they don't. Then you say, "Wow, I paid all this money. This thing ain't even that good." So yeah, I'm not doing it anymore. Oh, hello KBS. Yeah, so we'll go do that, and yeah, got cleaning to do, dust mopping, vacuuming. It's a hard knock life for us.